In September 2025, a federal judge inside the E. Barrett Prettyman United States Courthouse issued a ruling against the most heavily trafficked website on Earth. Judge Amit P. Mehta declared that Google had built an illegal monopoly. To dismantle this dominance, the U.S. Department of Justice originally proposed a massive structural breakup. They wanted to force Google's parent company, Alphabet, to sell off both its Chrome web browser and the Android mobile operating system. The final judicial order didn't go quite that far, but it struck at the core of the company's business model. The court banned Google from paying billions of dollars to secure exclusive default search placements on devices and legally compelled them to share their proprietary search index data with competitors. Billions of users navigate the internet through a lens Google provides, an inescapable default that funnels the world's information through a single private corporation. How did a college research project grow so dominant that it took the United States government 25 years to break it apart? To understand how the courts are tearing down this digital monopoly, we have to look at the exact architectural steps used to construct it. The story starts in 1995 on the campus of Stanford University. Two PhD students, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, were working on a research project they nicknamed Backrub. This animated diagram shows their breakthrough algorithm, PageRank. PageRank is a mathematical formula that measures a web page's importance by treating inbound links like academic citations. Notice how this central node grows larger as more backlinks point to it from other highly connected pages. Watch what happens when we compare this intelligent PageRank network against the logic used by early competitors like Yahoo and Excite. Those early engines simply ranked results by counting how many times a search term appeared on a page, a basic tally that was incredibly easy for webmasters to manipulate. Page and Brin actually wrote a 1998 research paper warning against ad-funded search engines, arguing they would be inherently biased. But after Excite CEO refused to buy their superior algorithm for $750,000, the two students were forced to build their own company. By 2000, they reversed their stance on advertising. They introduced a model based on selling text ads linked to specific search keywords. The revenue was immediate and staggering, culminating in a 2004 initial public offering that valued the company at over $23 billion, all under the corporate motto, "Don't be evil." Trading academic idealism for an ad-funded structure laid the first brick of their market dominance. They proved that offering a highly effective, free product was the perfect bait for harvesting global human attention. The next major structural shift occurred in 2007 when Google bought an advertising company called DoubleClick for $3.1 billion. This acquisition marked the start of Google's widespread use of HTTP cookie-based web tracking. A cookie is simply a small text file saved on your browser that records your website visits and online behavior. This acquisition shifted Google's operation from passively organizing the web to actively monitoring and monetizing user behavior across millions of independent websites. But the company realized a vulnerability. The only actual threat to their search engine was if a rival company controlled the digital access points, the browsers and operating systems that users relied on to reach the internet in the first place. To lock down those access points, Google expanded into infrastructure. They built their own browser, Chrome, and acquired the mobile OS, Android, ensuring their search bar was hard-coded into software people use every day. For the devices they didn't build, they simply bought their way in. Google began spending billions of dollars annually in exclusive contracts, most notably with Apple, paying to guarantee that Google Search was the default's out-of-the-box option on almost every smartphone sold. By controlling the browser, the phone, and the default settings, Google constructed a self-reinforcing ecosystem. They had successfully insulated themselves from true market competition. Long before federal prosecutors stepped in, the company's idealistic facade began to crack internally. Between 2018 and 2019, tensions between leadership and staff boiled over. More than 20,000 employees and contractors staged global walkouts to protest the company's handling of executive sexual misconduct. Staff also rebelled against controversial revenue initiatives, including a censored Chinese search engine and Project Maven, a military drone artificial intelligence program. By October 2020, the U.S. Department of Justice officially entered the fight. Federal prosecutors filed sweeping antitrust lawsuits against Google, alleging the company had illegally maintained a monopoly in the search and advertising markets. The resulting legal discovery revealed tightly guarded internal practices. One major disclosure was Project Bernanke, a secret years-long program where Google used historical ad bidding data to give its own advertising services an unfair advantage over competing ad networks. This culminated in an April 2025 remedies trial. The DOJ argued for strict structural breakups to restore competition, while Google maintained that dismantling the company would severely hinder innovation in the digital and AI sectors. In his final September 2025 ruling, Judge Mehta spared Google from having to sell off Chrome or Android. However, he permanently prohibited the exclusive default contracts that kept Google's search bar locked onto rival devices. Google spent 25 years ensuring its search engine was the only realistic option for navigating the internet. Now, the courts have dismantled that strategy, legally forcing the front door to the web to remain open.